Hey guys, what's going on? It's Adam Arif here, bringing you some health and fitness update and information. So those of you that recently following the channel, you know that I'm running a marathon and I bought some new shoes. They were the Pegasus Turbo 2. About £125 price point in the UK. Not sure what that is in terms of dollars, maybe kind of $180-ish. And one of the options that I looked at was the Nike Next Percent Vaporflies. And the reason this is quite interesting is because recently in Eliud Kipchoge set the sub 2 hour marathon for the world record. People were unsure whether he was going to do it, and he ran it in these shoes called the Nike Alphafly trainers that weren't available to the mass market. Now these shoes have been reviewed by the World Athletics Committee, and basically they were not allowed to be used in races. The Next Percent were, but actually the Alphafly trainers were not allowed, and what few of those reasons were related to actually a shoe must be available to the mass market 4 months before being used in an athletic race, and obviously they weren't. So what Nike have decided to do is release them into the mass market basically from the end of April onwards, which means that actually if you were going to use those shoes, you would actually be able to use them in an official athletics race. And what's interesting about that is the 5 fastest times of the past 12 months have been ran in these new Nike shoes. Adidas used to have previously last year and in previous years these glide boost shoes, these cushioning, but what's quite unique about these, including the actual Pegasus Turbo 2s that I've run in, is the level of cushioning and the support in terms of how light they are. The Next trainers, the Next Percent are probably even lighter than the Pegasus, but they weighed, if you look at my last video, at 220 grams compared to the Glide Boost, which are like a 330 gram trainer. Now that might seem like much, but when you're running 24 miles, it's these little 26 miles, it's these little things that make a big difference. And so it'd be really interesting to see how all this kind of plans out. A little bit of history around the shoe is, you're going to be restricted in terms of the World Athletics Committee saying the size of the actual heel and how thick it can be. But what's specifically interesting about these Alphafly Next Percent is that they have like a carbon plate that adds a stiffness and a rigidity that along with the cushioning absorbs the impact. And I felt this when you're running, particularly if you're running kind of flat-footed rather than like a curved foot, it almost like absorbs the cushioning and propels you forward to try and give you an extra percent. Actually, the stats show that it could give you an extra 4% for someone that's an athlete, and anyone that's like a not professional athlete or an amateur or something could get an even bigger percentage. So really interesting. Watch this space on that one. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.